Hey guys, and welcome back to another exciting installment of Bozocow here from Jaraci Cup number 2. If you don't mind, I'm gonna keep this little info thing up here on the top left because I am still trying to monitor the heat of my computer, and I can feel it just a little slow right now. But I've had it on and doing some pretty intensive stuff the entire day, so I just want to know if something weird is going on over there. But we're gonna be beginning Group Stage 3 here as we move off into space. Whoa! Alright, off to an explosive start. I'm really enjoying this series already. I love DOK, man. You couldn't have a better game, could you? 60 frames, that's good. Anyway, moving on to Group Stage C now of Jaraci Cup number 2, and we get to play with moi, Bozocow, in the green now. Just trying out some new colors. You'll see me play as blue, and I think it's red later on in the tournament. Yeah, so my opponent here, as the Conf, in his typical kind of dark blue and gray stripe, is going to be Catharsis. You should know who Catharsis is, especially if you play 3v3s. Really good player here, and we didn't expect to see him in a Jaraci Cup, but here he is, so I was really excited for that. Map is going to be the Shallows. I think most people do not really take advantage of the group stage rule set as much as they should. So I actually kind of wanted to display one thing that you can do in the group stage is you can change factions between matches. And I have a very specific build in mind here for Catharsis on the Shallows that I'm going to try to execute here. So that's why I'm playing Soban. There's definitely a purpose behind this. And this is a build that God Hates Weaves was testing. He showed it to me and I kind of took it over. And I think it's really potent. No, sorry, that's not right. Roby was showing me this. He was like, I wonder. The Shallows have got this little hill here, right? I wonder if you could have an assault cruiser park behind the hill where he's really unhittable, and then strike at the eco using the tac missile barrage. And I was like, oh, now that's a question. So I started looking into it, and I kind of refined a build order for this, and that is what I have got prepared for my opponent right here. And then you follow it up with an air transition, usually. So that's the plan. A little bit of context though, this is about when I started having the GPU problems, which I'm actually monitoring to see if I fixed right now. Like back then it would be like the GPU was at 95 and the CPU was at 95. I do still run pretty hot, I'm sure you can tell. But that's just because this is actually a laptop, I don't know if you do that. It's a really good laptop, but it is still a laptop, so you trade... Oh, that's too bad. You trade mobility and space for like heat usually. So I mean, I'm just kind of like, I'm okay with that. But 95 is too hot, and I started having frame rate caps going on. So I did a lot of this game in like alternating between 10 and 20 frames or something, so you'll definitely notice that the play throughout this whole tournament for me is a little bit sloppy, but yeah, I'm just having trouble microing and stuff. By the way, if you have context like that about your matches, you can put it in the info.txt that you send with the replay, because I actually like to know that sort of stuff. Targeting Jammer attempting to be put down there to sort of aid in the micro, but Catharsis proving really good at the Sandskimmer micro right here. This guy is a little risky to keep out in the front line, but I'm not going to push on it, so he's going to be okay here. Getting a lot of good damage on this base burner. He shouldn't be able to push into the base, really, but he's doing a pretty good job here. It's 2 PC from Catharsis switching into refinery mode, so he's got a lot of Sandskimmers out of the map. Actually, look at that. The ALM, maybe, I think, just got the kill on that Sandskimmer. That's pretty cool. But Catharsis getting refiner mode here, he's going to take over his bases with the production cruisers that he's built. And I believe he has something kind of funky in mind where he's going to try to play early with the carrier. And I think that's because he could see from like looking at the patch notes before playing the game that the Conf carrier was just going to be like insane good, so he's trying to kind of use it for all it's worth there. A little bit of pressure getting put on here is I need to break the siege before this ALM goes down. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. So he is going to pick up an ALM. That's kind of a bad thing to lose this early on in the game. And yeah, I'm really just kind of trying to defend myself with these LAVs here as Assault Cruiser Tech is finishing. Don't want to build any AAVs really because they cost RUs, and it's kind of important that I be able to double produce these things. But yeah, as you can see, Assault Cruiser Fabrication is on the way for me. I redeploy that ALM right there. This is just a nice place for it to help protect my base, you know. Down goes the blast drone. I really wish I had kept the probe alive because I need to see where I need to hit that tac missile barrage. But the LAV should be able to give that vision for me. And 2 assault cruisers are on the way here now for me. Catharsis is going to start moving his carrier out. So like I said, he's going to do this very early. The base runner there going to try to get a second extraction. I bet he has some power reserves going to be on the way, and railgun fabrication is the tech choice. And he's going to try to get a very quick win here, which is pretty cool. It's a fun build that he's doing as well, you know what I mean? I'm going to try to kite these sandskimmers, but I don't do terribly well. So again, I've taken kind of a few more losses here than I'd like to. We check the units lost tab. That's surprising. Apparently I've only lost one LAV. Okay, so I take it back. I'm doing really well here. I didn't know that. Fighter and gunship is on the queue, by the way. I follow up the assault cruisers with a support cruiser usually. That's what I'm going to be doing here. Sandskimmer's moving back, and they hadn't seen the ping yet, so I assume he just kind of mind-gamed that. He was like, those LAVs have got to be somewhere, so he's going to come back, try and defend his base now. I might get cut off here if I'm not careful, although I do have some high ground retreat options, but I want to keep these LAVs in the field as the assault cruisers come out, so this, I will say, is probably a little bit sloppy. But yeah, 2 assault cruisers are out, and they're going to move toward that hill. I should also use the overcharge, because by the time I get there, it'll be recharged and ready to go for the attack missile barrage. Fighter and gunship is on the way here, going to pop the wreck open. And Catharsis moving out very aggressively. Power Reserve 2 is on the way, second artifact has been extracted. And he's looking to finish the game off quick here with that carrier. But yeah, I mean, he's seen nothing but LAVs from me so far, so that probably triggers the alarm bells, but you're not going to know what's going on until you see that. There are the assault cruisers. He's going to fire some missiles at them. Really good hit there, actually. Takes that guy down like 400 health almost. 2 other really good hits land as well. Takes this guy down to about half health. But I am going to begin evading this carrier, and of course the further away I get, the harder it is for him to predict where he needs to go to land the shot. I did end up using overcharge right there because I felt like I just needed to get out of the area. So I'm not going to be able to use the attack missiles, which would actually have gotten a kill on the production cruiser there. But I'm also noticing there's nothing here to defend the base, so I feel pretty good to just kind of charge up there. We might lose one of them just to the missiles. It's going to be close. But I mean, he is definitely going to lose his main base right here, so doesn't have the defense ready, and he is going to suffer for it. Although I'm getting jumped on here by these sandskimmers. That's a little bit unfortunate for me. Heavy rail comes out, actually. Oh, and double attack missile. I was like, why am I targeting the production cruiser? Shouldn't I just kill this rail first? But, ouch, that's pretty painful. And you can see, by the way, I already have teched railguns. I didn't realize that I had done this just yet, actually, but that's a really good choice, obviously, because when you see that your opponent's got a lot of power in his carrier, you know, you want to tech up to that. But yeah, main base gone. That's really rough for Catharsis. He's had to move this guy away to keep him safe, too. And he hasn't got anything to kill off that assault cruiser. And if my memory serves me correctly, what's going to happen here also is that he thinks he's killed it, but he hasn't, and he can't really find out for sure because he can't spare any units over there. He doesn't have anyone who can go and get vision without dying. And so he thinks he's killed it, but he actually hasn't. You can see him triggering the Gaussian healing here. Meanwhile, production cruiser is going to go down now to the air transition. So the strike fighter is going to come in here. They rinse this production cruiser. Down he goes. And this is looking really rough now for Catharsis, who finds himself with no production cruisers 10 minutes into the game. He does have a third artifact that's going to extract, but he's up against 3 base economy from Soban nonetheless. That should be the end of the game here. And I mean, you know, I also played this game, so I happen to know that it is. I'll just tell you that. And if you want to, you can skip ahead now. This is going to take a really long time to resolve because I kind of just, I mean, I'm playing with low frame rates. I guess that's some excuse, but I don't know why it takes me so long, but it takes me like a long time to kill off Catharsis here. So, you know, don't feel obliged to stay and watch the whole thing if you don't want to. But you can see this assault cruiser here just being super annoying in the back lines. You just can't quite finish it off. I mean, it's a hard ask, you know. The carrier's going to come in to do it eventually. Railgun going to go down here, probably, although it probably would have been better to launch them all and try to kill off the production. Oh, okay, you know, actually there is anti-air there already. He's got missile batteries there. But yeah, just transitioning into armor spam. This is what I always tend to do with Soban. I wouldn't go battle cruisers against Conef, otherwise that's usually my follow-up to the strategy, is that then you go with like a cruiser-heavy build. You already have assault cruisers, you know, battle cruisers and artillery come really nicely kind of in tandem with that. I am going to tech artillery here, apparently. But yeah, I really don't want to let that artifact extract. Then we'd be moving up to like 4, so definitely going to try to deny this one. I gotta say, by the way, it's a really nice move actually by Catharsis not to pick it up immediately, because then I'll go ahead and smack it down, but rather to kind of hold it for a second, like on the artifact, but not pick it up. And then pick it up once he thinks he has a kind of a window to get out. But I do have the air, so it's going to deny the artifact here. Kind of go. I'm going to try to get a little bit of attack going in with these AAVs, by the way, but look at that, the assault cruiser is still there. He's going to rain a missile barrage down to the eco, narrowly misses. That would have killed all of the salvages, I believe. Smoke popped very quickly there, that's a good move. Try and stop the assault cruiser from hitting the salvagers as they move over in transit there. But I really want to kill off that production cruiser. I know that I can get it if I launch air, but I might be able to get it just with this assault cruiser. He does go down. That was pretty close though. So Catharsis now at the 11-minute mark, still no production cruisers on the field. Having some trouble here, but again, like I should have killed him already. Like I don't know why this took me so long. Heavy vehicles 2 going to come out for me now. That'll be helpful. That'll be helpful. Sandskimmer's actually picking off an AAV, which is crazy. I've got more AAVs though, I don't really need to worry about that. A lot of ALMs too. I think I'm just putting them there because I'm a little too lazy to like find a really good spot for them. It is true that they have some power in numbers though, like if the Sandskimmers tried to come through here, they just get thermal-stunned. Strike Fighters trying to find value, you know. Always good to be active with those strike fighters if you got them. Gonna try to take out his anti-air here now, although I lose vision on it apparently. But you can see Saban Railgun's starting to go down to these cruise missile shots here. By the way, maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want to give people ideas, but if you're playing against me, it definitely makes sense to stay in the game because I'm kind of known for throwing. So I would not say it's bad of Catharsis to stay in this game. Like if anybody can lose the game from this position, it's gotta be me, right? By the way, he's definitely making the wise play getting base runners here, because that's a way that you could still win from this position. You've already got 3, you know, if you just get these 2, then you win, right? But I'm going to pick one of them up, because I see that too. I want to get my artifacts going as well. Again, failing to find any damage on that carrier. These are actually pretty much blind shots too, so it's pretty nice for Catharsis. He's got a lot of experience playing Conef, you know. Railguns. Again, no line of sight to the carrier, and they're just like dying like one after another to these cruise missile shots, which is just hilarious. You know what I could try is I could just upgrade my carrier and use that to fight, but I have a feeling I would throw if I did that. Could get artillery, I have the tech, but again, probably I'll just lose them. So I think what I ended up doing, which is just keep making railguns, that was good. I'm just taking a long time to do it because I'm a pleb, I guess. Gonna lose a strike fighter there, which is a little unfortunate. I got Catharsis down about 4,000 HP now, though. If he ever is using the missiles, he can't be healing very much, so that's definitely kind of, you know, the advantage I've got going there. And this is a lot of Saban rails. I mean, like I said, you know, the game is over at this position. But you never know. You never know what Bozocow is going to do. Mark target getting used there, always a nice touch, and that will finish off Catharsis' cruiser, or carrier that is. And I do take the game finally, although as you can see it was a hard-fought victory for some reason. But I did get it in the end. That's game 1 going pretty handily to me. My surprise build was definitely a nice trick. Managed to take Catharsis out right there. But I won't be able to use it for game 2. Game 2 I believe is his pick. Actually, I've got a text document for this. I should really be using it. It's called Info 2 for some reason, not Info 1. Yeah, so I picked Shallows, but Catharsis picks GT Alt, and this one's going to be a KVK. Conf versus Conf. You know, if this was vanilla, it would just be like a battle of the blast drones, but not going to be like that here. In patch, the blast drone is built a lot slower, so it retains its use as like an actual unit, but it can't really be used for cheese quite as nicely. I'm recording, right? Yes. I always have to check. I'm just paranoid. Anyway, this one much more of an even playing field though, because I haven't really done any like research into a specific build to use against him. I just know I'm gonna play Conf like I've been playing Conf, and that usually means some kind of a 2 production cruiser aggro build, although this time I'm actually getting Skimmer Fab first, so it looks like I'm gonna play this a little bit more traditional. And yet still with a base runner retirement. It's kind of interesting. I don't remember doing that. It's kind of a weird choice. Oh, and I put 2 guys on RUs first. Oh. Am I going to go for the assault ship build? Because if so, by the way, I should only have one of these guys on here. I already have enough RUs for it. This guy should be on Cs. I think I am. I think I am. Little quick drop could be nice here. Get a pick of assault ship fabrication. At the 5 second to the minute mark, that's not bad. You can be a little bit faster with this, but this will be okay. Blast drone already produced for Catharsis. You can tell he really likes that unit. He's going to be making a second one already, in fact. I've had a lot of wonky games with Catharsis where blast drones were killing assault ships and stuff, but less easy in patch because the blast drone has more damage packets, and so even though it probably still does the same amount of damage to assault ships, it's proportionally less because they build slower. Or wait, no, sorry. It does less damage, but it's proportionally the same because the assault ship's health is lower. But it does, yeah, okay. It's difficult to explain. Point is, blast drones still good, but not gonna like save you like they do in vanilla. This is a bit of an overextension here. I really want to kill that sand skimmer, but I won't even, and I probably lose one of my own for this. No, it doesn't look like it. But... And I will have high ground if he chases, so he's not going to be able to fight me there. Assault ship fab is done now. The assault ships are on the way. You can see there's actually 2 base runners here now for Catharsis. Both producing blast drones, so he's really going heavy on the blast drones here. I always like watching Catharsis because he does weird stuff. You wouldn't expect him to do it, but he's really good and he pulls it off, you know what I mean? Armor Unit Defenses 1 is done here too, and I have plans to go up and do some real damage. The thing is, this is not vanilla. The assault ship is not so survivable. So there's a good chance this doesn't work. We'll just have to see. Yeah, I mean, see, he's already down to like half health. I think this definitely would have worked in vanilla, because this guy would still have like 1,000 health left on him. But he's already dead. Yeah, okay, this does not look like it's gonna go very well for me. I did manage to force Power Reserve 1 for my opponent, but that's not really worth it. I'm gonna have to back away here. It could have worked maybe by making a couple of assault ships and then pushing them together. Something like that. But yeah, you can see I know what to do to rebound off of this. It's gonna be tricky too, but I know what to do. Getting refinery mode there. 3 blast drones are here. That's what you need to pull off the BD hit on the main eco, but he's kind of dillying a little bit. Dilly-dallying? Whatever you say. He's kind of moving down on the side there, you see what I mean? Oh, he's gonna get detonated on it here too. Ooh. That's a little unfortunate for him. Yeah, so he spent too much time under the PD there, and then he also got body blocked. So only gonna get one salvager for his troubles there. You can see I was moving for the carrier block, and I've repositioned myself here. Refiner mode on the way for both of us, but mine will be a little bit faster. I'm gonna attempt to dig in on his second base there as well. It's always something you want to do. Catharsis is gonna get 2 extractions, by the way. That's gonna be good for him. Set the precedent for this game that he's gonna have some artifact pressure. But it does look like I'm actually ahead here, probably. Not sure about that, but probably. Catharsis is going missile ship first. I do end up going air this game, so that pays out for him. That's a pretty good move, like just mind game wise, because you know, before you get any tech getting missile ships, like it's really useless if you don't have air coming from your opponent. But I like to play the way that I think is right, and so even though I'm not very good at it, I like to go for air units. So yeah, he definitely kind of read that, so that's good for me. But yeah, I'm going to be on second base first. It's got nearly all the salvagers. It'll be fully saturated in just a moment. Catharsis is going to push this assault ship off. He will succeed in that, but I have slowed him down quite a bit. And so I am technically ahead here. But that could all change in an instant if these blast drones get through. It's definitely the thing to watch now. I'm going to see one right there, so that kind of tells me, okay, I see what's going on here. Carrier ought to move out there and then instantly power up the weapons. I'm a little slow on it. Weapons not powering up. Yeah, oh, the blast drones could have gotten in, but they didn't know. They didn't know that I still had the power off of that. That's going to be deflected, but narrowly. That's really carried. That's not what you want to be doing. This is tricky here as well, because you can see these two base runners are wanting to pick up the 3rd and 4th artifacts, and that would just really be kind of unacceptable at this stage. I can't let that happen. I'm not too worried about my base because I have an assault ship coming out right now, actually, but it is worth noting that blast drones are hecka fast, so if you can't stop the things, you are going to have a bad time. If I think that I have my base covered, but they find a way to slip in, you know, I could lose all my salvagers on one of my bases. And this base runner is going to extract. I need to just focus on the next one. Kind of converge here with all 4 of my guys and try to take that one out. Because letting my opponent get to 4 artifacts this early on is really going to be kind of unacceptable, especially given how last game went. Interceptor Fab is done, but I should really just make another production cruiser. Oh yeah, look at that, another production cruiser. But in that case, Interceptor Fabrication is a little bit wasted here. Would have been better if I went for Rails or for Siege or something like that. Smoke going to be deployed here as Catharsis tries to buy a little bit of time, but he won't get that one out. However, this is what I was talking about. I think I have my bases covered, but these blast drones are going to slip past the assault ship here. Oh, but they come back in. That's tragic. One of them is going to get taken out there. That didn't have to happen. He could have come in. You can see me already splitting the salvagers there, because I know like what that means. But yeah, Catharsis on 3 artifacts. That's very good for him. Very early artifact pressure being put out here. .28 HP on that guy. Whew. It's close. This base runner getting chased a little bit, but there's a heavy railgun, there's a very powered up carrier. I'm not going to be able to kill this thing. I'm not going to really be able to get eco pressure with assault ships either. I need rails to do that, and I'm going to tech rails now. Getting some interceptors as well. I can see my opponent is not on 3 base, but I'm not on 3 base either. And I think if I hadn't teched interceptors, I could already be fully mining off of the 3rd at this point. That would have been a lot better. But at least I know my opponent isn't ahead of me, right? Like, I have the production cruiser first, so... That's good. That's good for me. It's interesting to see that Catharsis is playing a lot more with railguns than we're used to seeing on the patch, when railguns are generally less effective than they are in vanilla. That's kind of interesting. Like, there's more tech paths open, I guess I would say, rather than saying railguns aren't as effective. And yet, actually, it's now that he plays with railguns a little bit more. Okay, he was always a big rail player as Sawan, but this is not Sawan, so... Base runner are going to be produced by me now. I'm going to launch these interceptors here. I believe it was at this moment that I said to myself, like, this air reveal better be pretty good, or I feel like I don't have a good footing in this game. Looking at the field now, I'm actually ahead, right? So I feel like this doesn't need to be terribly good, but... I see the missile ship and I duck away. I'm going to see if I can come in for a different angle here, but I do get hit by the missile anyway. Probably ought to just dock at this point. Oh, I'm going to stick it. Yeah, these guys are all dead then. This guy knows better. He's going to dock, but I lost 2 air units there, really kind of for nothing. I had gotten the kill. I should have just gotten out of there. That's a little unfortunate, but I lose all the assault ships too. So that was definitely like a pretty powerful push for me that just got instantly slaughtered. That bodes ill, especially as Catharsis begins to push forward with his carrier now. Not taking a second base, mind you. And I think it's because he understands he's got the pressure on the map now. I just lost kind of my entire army. Right after you get an army wipe, you should have map presence for a bit. I'm getting some armor up for my rails here. I'm making more rails, but it's going to be tricky for me here if he tries to just put on artifact pressure, because he's got a very powered up carrier. He just wiped my army. He's got field control, so this could be bad news bears, all right. I'm just gonna win this artifact race here. He is gonna get it back right. Actually, that would have been really impactful if I had picked that one up, but I didn't see the base runner, right? I didn't know that. So. It's 3 rails to 3 rails here, so I don't even have the rail majority. And he's got his carrier here, so that would be a really bad fight if I took it there. And I can see now, like, oh shoot. Gotta deal with these artifacts, right? But those counter face runners are really slippery with that smoke ability, so there goes one assault chip. Like, imagine how useless the smoke ability would be if you couldn't use it while you had an artifact picked up. Like, it's like, I'm not sure if this is what the developers intended, but it's always what they're used for, is to ensure the artifact extraction. I think I just gifted that guy some speed. Yeah, I did. See, that was probably not worth it, actually. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, this guy still has smoke. This guy doesn't, but he's got the distance for it. Carrier definitely doing a good job of policing the field here. Missile ship barrage even being utilized, and these artifacts are going to extract. That has got to be the game. And so, once again, Catharsis and I go 1-1 in the group stage. Typical, huh? Very typical. So, if he goes undefeated and I go undefeated, which is kind of like the current expectation, we are the two best players in the group stage, we'd have to play a tiebreaker. Again. So, that's always interesting to see. But I guess you will find out what that outcome is later on. For now, though, that's all I'm going to cast tonight, I believe. I'll see you guys later.